Hello students, welcome to our science class. This is Ma'am Jorella R.D. Maranan, and for today's lesson, we will be discussing volcanoes. By the way, this is our first lesson for the third grading period. For the objectives, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to differentiate active and inactive volcanoes and describe the different types of volcanoes based on volcanic features and eruptive style. In grade 8, you have learned about the relationship between the occurrence of earthquakes and the location of the Philippines along the Ring of Fire. Due to its location, the Philippines is a home to many volcanoes. Volcanoes destroy and volcanoes create. The catastrophic event of Mount Pinatubo in June 15, 1991 made clear the awesome destructive power of a volcano. Yet, over a time span longer than human memory and record, nagkaroon ng pangunahing papel sa pagbuo at pagbabago ang mga volcano sa ating mundo. More than 80% ay nagmula dito. Ang mga gases mula sa volcano, over hundreds of millions of years, formed the Earth's earliest ocean and atmosphere, which supplied the ingredients vital to evolve and sustain life. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi na mabilang kung gaano nakadami ang mga sumabog na volcano that produce mountains, plateaus o talampas, and plains o kapatagan. So what is volcano? A volcano is a vent or a mountain from which magma, composed of molten rocks or hot rocks with gaseous materials that are ejected onto the Earth's surface. The volcano eruption can cause lateral blast, hot ash, lava flow, mudslides, and more. Volcanism is the term which covers all kinds of volcanic activities. It includes the process that gives rise to magma and causes its movement in the earth. Kamakailan lang, masusing pinag-aralan ng volcanism patungkol sa proseso ng mga rock formation at condition nito na nasa surface ng ating mundo. Pero, paano nga ba nabuo ang mga volcano? How are volcanoes formed? Most volcanoes are formed as a result of geological activities along plate boundaries. For example, in the Ring of Fire, ang mga volcano ay nabubuo sa pamamagitan ng tinatawag na subduction zone. Subduction zone ang tawag sa pagbangga sa pagitan ng two tectonic plates wherein yung isang plate ay pumapailalim sa iba pang plate habang unti-unti namang natutunaw ang mga mantle nito na nagiging resulta ng pagtaas ng magma sa ibang plate. Kaya kalaunan, nakalilikha ito ng panibagong volcano. Next, volcanoes are also formed along the rift of two plates which are being pulled apart. So once the magma rises out of the rift from the sea as the seafloor spread, it produces volcano. Iceland is an island that was formed this way. And last, some other volcanoes are formed at the center of a plate by flumes. Ang flumes ay ang pinagsamang hot volcanic ash at mga gas na inilalabas mula sa volcano papunta sa atmosphere. The shooting magma can burn a hole into the plate above and form a volcano. Example is the Hawaiian Islands. How many volcanoes are there in the world?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, SpongeBob, I understand. Geologists believe that the number of volcanoes in the world could be in millions, dating back since the Earth had started. There are about 600 active volcanoes known today, 50 to 60 have erupted at least once yearly, and 20 erupting at any given time. Pero, paano nga ba malalaman kung ang isang volcano ay active o inactive? There are several ways by which volcano can be classified. According to Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology o PHIVOLCS, mayroon tayong active at inactive volcanoes. Active volcanoes has a record of eruption within 600 years or those that erupted 10,000 years ago based on analysis of their materials. Masasabi daw nating active kapag ang isang volcano ay nakapagtala ng 600 taon o 10,000 taon na ang nakararaan na ang mga experts ibinatay nila sa materials na mayroon ng isang volcano. In our country, as of February 2021, mayroon tayong 24 active volcanoes sa Pilipinas. The Taal volcano is the most recent volcano that erupted on January 12, 2020 in the province of Batangas. So, ilan pa sa mga active volcanoes na mayroon ng Pilipinas? Mayroon tayong Mount Mayon na nasa Bicol and Mount Pinatubo in Zambales. Next category, inactive or dormant volcanoes. Have not erupted for the last 10,000 years and their physical form is being changed by agents of weathering and erosion. Ibig sabihin, kapag inactive or dormant volcanoes, no record of eruption for the last 10,000 years, but it does not necessarily indicate that the volcano will not erupt again. Kapag ang isang volcano nakabilang sa inactive, pero sumabog ito kamakailan, hindi na natin siya ibibilang sa inactive. Maidadagdag na siya sa list ng mga active volcanoes. Tinatayang mayroon tayong 339 inactive volcanoes na mayroon ng Pilipinas. Ito ay ayon sa ating PHIVOLCS. But before we go further, ano nga ba ang mga external parts ng volcano? A volcano usually has a summit, slope, and base. Summit, An opening which may be crater or caldera. So when we say crater, it is a funnel-shaped opening at the top of a volcano, while caldera form when part of the wall collapses following an explosive eruption. Last 2019, natagpuan sa Pilipinas sa ilalim ng Benham Rise ang may pinakamalaking kaldera sa buong mundo. Yes, hindi na siya Yellowstone na makikita or matatagpuan sa United States. So nasa Pilipinas na po, tinatawag natin siyang Apo-laki o Apong Malaki. So ang kaldera daw ay uka na nilikha ng isang bulkan mula sa kanyang paulit-ulit na pagsabog. Then, slope is the inclination course. The lowest part, bottom or supporting layer, is base. Let's move on to the three main types of volcano based on volcanic features and location. First is composite volcanoes or stratovolcanoes. Large, nearly perfect slope structure formed from alternate solidification of both lava and pyroclastic deposits. The lava is extruded during mild and quiet eruption, while the pyroclast or cinders are extruded by explosive eruption. Ang composite volcanoes ay mula sa paulit-ulit na pagbuga at pagdaloy ng mga lava, ashes, cinders, blocks, at volcanic bombs na umaabot sa layong 8 or 8,000 pulgada magmula sa paligid nito. So, ilan sa mga halimbawa ng volcanoes composite or composite volcanoes? Mayroon tayo sa Mount Mayon in Bicol and Mount St. Helens in America. Next is shield volcanoes. It has a wide, gentle slopes. It is low in height and it's made up of purely lava that's solidified. They look like low, broad, dome-shaped mountains, almost flat like a warrior shield. Example of shield volcanoes, we have Mauna Loa and Kilauea, both matatagpuan yan sa Hawaii. Last is cinder cones or Soria cones, have steep slope, wide crater. They also called parasitic cones on the sides of stratovolcanoes or shield volcanoes. Ang cinder cones, ang pinakasimpleng volcano among the other types of volcanoes. Sometimes tinatawag din itong baby volcanoes dahil nabuo ito sa pamamagitan ng malalakas na pag-erupt mula kay composite at ni shield volcanoes. So when this volcano erupt, a powerful blast spews molten rocks, ash, and gas into the air. As the rocks cool quickly in the air, they fall and break into the cinder, which builds up to form one cone shape. These volcanoes can reach around 1,000 feet. So example ng cinder cones volcanoes, we have Mount Peli in East Indies and Mount Paricutin in Mexico. Iba-iba ang pag-erupt ng mga volcano. Generally, they are classified as wet or dry, depende sa magma's water content nito. So volcanoes are described according to the style of eruption. So we have sixth. We have phreatic or hydrothermal, phreatomagmatic, Strombolian, Volcanion, Plinian, and Felian. First is phreatic or hydrothermal. A stream-driven eruption as the hot rocks come in contact with water, short-lived, characterized by ash columns, but may be an onset of a larger eruption. Ang phreatic eruption, nangyayari ito kapag ang water sa loob ng volcano ay pinainit ng magma, like ng usual na ginagawa natin na nagpapainit tayo ng tubig. So, ito'y kukulo at maglalabas ng usok o steam na sobrang init niya sa crater na madalas may mga kasama itong maliliit na bato. Ang phreatic or hydrothermal, sinasabi nila, ito ang pinakamahina sa lahat ng volcanic eruption at madalas wala itong kasamang magma. Ang Taal Volcano sa Batangas ay halimbawa ng phreatic or hydrothermal eruption. Second, phreatomagmatic, a violent eruption due to the contact between water and magma that lead to a large column of very fine ash and high-speed and sideways emissions of pyroclastic cold base surge. Halos pareha siya ng phreatic or hydrothermal. Ang difference lang nito or kaibahan nito sa phreatic, once na nag-erupt ang volcano na may kasamang magma, tinatawag natin siyang phreatomagmatic. So, ang example ng phreatomagmatic, we have Sartseyan in Iceland and Mount Tarawera in New Zealand. Third is Strombolian, a type of volcanic eruption with relatively mild blast having a volcanic explosivity index of about 1 to 3. A periodic wake to violent eruption characterized by fountain lava. Strombolian, named from the small volcano island of Stromboli. Strombolian is the smallest type of explosive eruptions. Ang Strombolian eruption ay isang mahina daw na pagsabog ng isang volcano na usually naglalabas siya ng makapal at sobrang init na usok na may kasamang fountain of lava. So nangyayari ito kapag nasobrahan sa pressure yung mga gases sa loob ng volcano. So, ang example nito, we have Mount Etna in Italy. Next is Volcanion. Volcanion eruption is stronger than Strombolian explosion, but much weaker than Plinian eruptions, characterized by tall eruption columns that reach up to 20 kilometers high with pyroclastic flow and ashfall tephra. Ang Volcanion eruption, siya yung naglalabas ng napakakapal at mataas na usok. Ang pagsabog nito ay umaabot hanggang 20 kilometers daw pataas, ang taas. Kasama nito yung nakamamatay na gas or usok na may malalaki at may init na bato na lumilikha ng isang tunog na halos kapares daw ng isang pagputok ng baril. Example of Volcanion eruption is Sakurajima sa Japan. So, ito siya. Second to the last is Plinian. The largest and most violent of all the types of volcanic eruption. Plinian is an excessively explosive type of eruption of gas and pyroclastics caused by the fragmentation of gassy magma and are usually associated with very viscous magma. Kind of eruption that can destroy its entire top, creating a huge caldera, which is what happened to Mount Pinatubo in 1991. So, sabi ng mga experts, si Plinian eruption ang may pinakamalakas, pinakanakakatakot, at mapaminsalang volcanic eruption sa lahat. So, example of Plinian is the Mount Pinatubo in Zambales. Last is Pelion, a very violent eruption characterized by voluminous explosive ejections of pumice and ash flows. In Pelion eruptions, a large amount of gas, dust, ash, and lava fragments are blown out laterally by the collapse of the cinder cones. Ang biglaang pagsabog ng lava dome ay naging sanhi ng pag-collapse ng cinder cone. Dahil very viscous o sobrang malapot, malagkit at acidic na lava, sinamahan pa ito ng maraming gases. So ang tendency kapag nag-flow ito ng mabilis, lahat ng madadaanan niya ay magdudulot ng malaking pinsala. So example of Pelion eruption, we have Mount Mayon in Bicol. So now that you have a deeper understanding of volcanoes and its types, it's time to answer the learning task sent to our group chat. Feel free to message if you have questions related to our lesson. That will be for today, and good day everyone.